Yeah, baby. Yo, what's up? What's happening? Welcome back, players, hustlers, and grinders. The season is over, Pinhead.
No more season.
No more season, man. And what a great Super Sunday I had. I hope everybody else enjoyed theirs. But I hope you guys are ready to join me and my compadre. As always, will be
serving it up hot.
Yeah, baby. That's right, my peoples. Nobles and Pinhead are back here in the Pinhead studio. I thought I told you it won't stop. So what's next?
Well, find something out.
That's it, man. Well, with that said, if you don't know, boy, you better ask somebody. I'm your host, the sunshine to this rainy day, Reggie Nobles.
Also known as Cammy's dad.
Hey. And with me, of course, is one of my favorite people. He puts the funk in functional alcoholic. If you Google that dude, you'll find a picture of the Pinhead, a.k.a. Holden McGrowan.
Oh, I hear you, man.
What's going on, Pinhead?
Not much, man. I had a good Super Bowl Sunday, too.
Man, I'm glad you did, man. Did you enjoy it here? Would you?
I watched the first half here at the Pinhead Studios, and then I went up to the tavern. I watched the second half up there, and yeah, it was a heck of a game, man. It could have gone either way. There's a couple of real key plays in that game.
Nice.
Turn things around, you know.
Yeah. How was the food, man?
Our food was good.
Well, I heard he was doing beef ribs.
Yeah, they were good.
I hate I missed it, man.
Yeah,
Nobody ever does beef ribs, man. And the one time he does it, I wasn't there. But anyway, as always, boys and girls, we aim to please. And Pinhead, I think today will be the best show we've ever done.
I think so.
All right, man. Well, on today's episode, we'll discuss a little funny news. We'll talk about how our Super Bowl Sunday was, review that great game, actually. Turned out to be a really good game. And then on to the next, man. We'll talk a little bit round ball this weekend, Carolina and Duke, man. So, let go. Well, you want to start it off, man, or you want to hear what I got?
What you got, man?
Well, man, I don't know if you saw this, but Japanese fashion billionaire Yasuka Maezawa.
I gotta say, I didn't see this.
Okay. He pulled out of a reality show where he was in search for a girlfriend to take on a voyage to the moon. That's right, man. That's right, to the moon. Apparently, he had mixed feelings about his participation after 20,000 people applied.
Ooh.
Yeah. What's really funny about this is that billionaire, which is a good-looking guy, is having the same issue as my broke ass. Finding a girl who's down for whatever. You know?
To the moon. How's he going to get there? Does he have a spaceship?
I mean, he's a billionaire, so I guess he can charter one. I don't know what it costs to fly to the moon. Again, that's not in my pay grade, so I've never even considered that as an option.
And 20,000 women responded.
20,000 women respond.
Wow.
I mean, it's got to be a pool of crazy women.
Yeah.
You're going to fly to the moon with a dude that you met on reality TV.
Yeah, I don't know if that's even in, like, are there any laws in space?
You know? I mean, if you make it back,
right?
You know,
yeah.
I mean,
yikes, man! I don't know. I would have to, if offered the chance to go to space, I would have to take it. I just think too few people have ever done it to where if you get the chance, you about got to do it.
I disagree.
Yeah, I think so.
I like it here.
Well, your chances of survival are really high. You know, I mean, we've only had like 3 super catastrophic things happen in our space program. You know, so that's not too bad.
3 out of how many though?
Well, quite a few. We were making, back through the 80s and 90s, we were making runs in the space shuttle left and right.
We was making runs.
Oh, yeah, man. We were just throwing satellites up there
and
chucking them into space pretty quick.
Yeah, I guess we were.
We just had a gal come down today. I forget how many they said, but it was the longest tenure in space ever for a woman. And she gave the thumbs up when she landed. One of my favorite stories about space is John Glenn went up in space when he was like in his 70s. Do you remember that? They sent him.
Yeah.
And there was this DJ in Florida near Cape Canaveral.
Of course there was.
Yeah. And he was trying to set it up to where everybody would be there to greet him when he landed, and everybody wear ape suits. So he would think.
Oh, that's cruel, man.
Know, they didn't do it. He did have to stay on the landing strip for like 3 hours after they got back, though, because he was ill.
Really?
Yeah, and then he got it together, and they got him off, and he
Just
could
the motion,
wait.
I guess.
I guess, yeah. I mean, that's a lot for anybody, as much as 70 years
70
old.
years old. What a badass.
Oh man, no
What
doubt.
a badass. Like, dude, I'm 41. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, no, that guy. Yeah, that's what an American hero there.
I mean, and then you're just confined to that tight space for however long the trip is. I mean, I couldn't do it, man. I don't know. It scares the hell out of me, man.
I would be more scared, I think, to be in a submarine for a long time.
Yeah.
Submarine just seems like the crushing weight above you. You know, it's just always lurking.
Yeah. Something goes wrong and you can't rise up. It's not like you can just.
And it's
pop
not.
out
It's not
and
really more dangerous than space, but it seems
like
so.
it, right.
You know, it
Yeah,
seems so.
I think out of the two, I would do the submarine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I probably would too.
Yeah,
But
I just feel like, I mean, I know we do that more.
yeah, we always doing that. We've been doing that for a long time.
Man,
Hey man, did you hear about downtown Winston-Salem? You know, we can now get there again.
yeah, man, I took the trip the other day.
Yeah, I did too. The lovely Salem Parkway. It's a lot like Business 40 used to be.
It looks, I can't figure out what they did, dude. I said the same thing. I was like, huh.
And the bridges are new. They're just painted to look old. But no, the downtown Winston-Salem now accessible from Kernersville again and other places east of Winston-Salem. And things are safer now in downtown Winston as they have their own real-life superhero. A gentleman known as Night Watch. Have you heard about Night Watch?
I've not heard about
No,
Night Watch.
Night Watch has been on patrol for some time now. I first saw Night Watch, maybe running up on 3 weeks ago on the news. He is a gentleman, looks like he's maybe pushing 30 years old. You can't really tell. He wears goggles and a ski mask and dresses all in black. And
We've got our own vigilante.
yeah, we totally do have our own vigilante. He
This is awesome.
he doesn't look like he's in great shape.
Okay.
He's a bit portly. He has like a really unkempt looking short beard on him. But from what you can see, you know, the rest of him's kind of covered up. But yeah,
Has he spoiled any crimes?
no, not yet.
Not yet.
He says that if he sees a crime in progress, he will act. But so
Okay.
far, all he's done, he hands out basically goodie bags to homeless people with some food, socks, blankets,
Okay.
things like that. And he has a quote here. It says, "There is no prerequisite for being a good person." So I like that. I thought that was cool. He
That
says,
is cool.
He says that he's helped out about a dozen homeless people in the community, and he says it's just nice that people aren't totally freaked out. Now they know who I am and that I'm trying to help.
Do they have a picture of him in there?
No, not in here. But you
Did
can
they
find him
reveal?
online.
Do they reveal his identity?
No.
Because he's an actual.
I've never seen his identity. I'm sure that somebody knows.
What is his name again?
Night Watch.
Night Watch.
I
love it.
Yeah, the costume's not good enough to where somebody doesn't know who he is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you were wearing that, I would know it was you.
Reg, what are you doing?
Yeah, I would know it was you. Yeah, but if you don't know the guy, it works pretty good.
Let's Google Night Watch.
Check him out, man.
I gotta see this.
He doesn't
man.
look. He's not a physically imposing gentleman by any means, but he's trying to help. And which
Yeah.
everybody needs a little help, especially the homeless people. And it seemed like he was doing a good job.
Right.
Have you looked at our superhero?
Yeah, I'm Googling now. I
I'm
can't
wondering,
stop
too.
laughing to get it correct.
I'm wondering too if other towns have their own real life superheroes. So if there's ever a chance that maybe we could hook up with like Asheville and Raleigh and have like a Justice League. Have us a little Justice League walking around downtown. Somebody's gonna get killed doing that, though. Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, because he's not.
Yeah, man.
You see him?
He looks like a broke Batman.
Yeah, like a low budget Batman, and it makes me think. To be a great superhero, clearly you need great villains. That's what makes you. Where is Pazuzu when you need him?
Right.
Pazuzu, man.
I'm
If he
trying to
was
think if
still-
we know anyone who could be a great villain.
Juicy Bruce.
Perfect.
Juicy Bruce.
Perfect. Perfect. He's
Dude,
got the laugh.
Juicy Bruce would give Night Watch hell. Don't you know it? It is, and he wouldn't. He could just use verbal tactics.
Yes.
and it would be
Yes.
and the shoulder punch.
Oh,
which
all right,
is
yeah,
that is Juicy Bruce's
that's-
main attack.
Yeah, the back slap and shoulder punch,
Back slap, a shoulder punch, incessant talking.
followed by pints and pints of Jameson and vodka.
Man, we should set that up.
I sounds great to me. That sounds great to me, man.
Maybe we could have a deal we could put on Facebook with Juicy Bruce calling out Night Watch with like a maniacal laugh at the end. You know, like if you don't meet me at Bull's Tavern tonight.
Medieval on your ass.
Exactly.
That is super dope, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man.
That's what we need, man. All right, it's good that we have a superhero, but I think we need superhero battles. to make
Absolutely.
things complete.
Well, that's the only way it works.
That's
Other
right.
than that, he's just a creep walking downtown in his pajamas.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, man.
All right, man, I got another little story here I thought was funny. It's from New Jersey. Kathleen Ayala. She attacked her husband.
What was her name?
Kathleen Ayala.
Ayala. Okay.
Yeah. And she attacked her husband. He was 35-year-old Axel Torres. They got into an argument, and as Torres left the house, Ayala attacked him with a fingernail clipper. She used the file end of the clipper to repeatedly stab Torres over and over in his feet, hands, shoulders, and left leg. The police finally arrived. They found Torres unresponsive. They transported him to the hospital, and he died the next morning.
Wow.
I mean, man, none of those are really lethal places. Yeah, how many times do you think, say, I would have to stab you in the feet and hands with a fingernail clipper to get you to die? A lot.
Yeah.
A bunch.
Yeah.
The only one that's somewhat worrying is the left leg, but I don't know that you could get deep enough to hit an artery.
Right. Unless basically she made a shank out of it. Right. She must have filed the file end down to get it really, really sharp.
God.
Or either that or picked out some really bad stuff out some nasty ass feet. And
Oh, just got him with the funk.
yeah.
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 What's those lizards that do that to you? You know, the kimono dragon?
Oh, okay.
Their bite doesn't kill you, but
But
it's
yeah.
the fungus and mess on their teeth that get you.
Yeah.
You know, so, maybe that was it. Some foot fungus got him. But I mean, that is bizarre, man.
He had to be stabbed, man. I mean,
I would love
Jesus
to know the total number of times. Feet, hands, shoulders, and
He
left
must
leg.
not have been in great health because I would think that you can get away from that kind of attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd like to see pictures of these two people.
Yeah, well, we'll probably definitely get to see a picture of her.
I'm betting she's bigger than him.
Yeah. You know, it's almost funny. As soon as you said Ayala and Torres, I figured something like that. I knew we might be going DV.
Right.
You know.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
I did know. That was crazy as hell.
Ayala, she's got an attitude.
All right, now we're gonna zip down to a state that we love so much.
Absolutely, man. Let's go to Florida.
All right, man. There's been numerous complaints going back months
Okay.
on one Mr. Robert Wayne Miller. He's 57 years old. He's been disturbing the peace with his lawnmower. And so the police go to check him out, right? They got body camera footage of Deputy Michael O'Donnell in Pasco County Sheriff's Department arriving at Miller's property and calling out to him. And this is followed by a revving of the mower's engine. I've had 4 people come out and tell me that they can't take it anymore, O'Donnell hollered to Miller. You know, and Miller responded back, whatever, before turning on the mower again. He don't care. Man, and
Must have been a badass mower.
I know, man. But Dwayne White is a fellow that lives across the street, and he told the reporter that he'll run that tractor all night. It echoes all over the neighborhood.
He's just
He
a
said-
dickhead, right?
I guess, yeah, and he don't care. He said whatever, man. So they arrested him. If he's convicted, he can spend 18 months in jail and pay a $1,500 fine.
Jesus Christ. I got to think, though, he's going to get off on that. I mean, maybe a fine.
The fine, I mean, $1,500.
Sure.
That's not all that much compared to 18 months.
18 months is a long time
Yeah.
for revving your lawnmower. What kind of lawnmower allows you to rev it up? Like,
Just
right.
I don't know, man.
He's back there in his
But,
garage.
I mean, do they mean like he was throwing it into rabbit? Yeah. That's the only way that my mower revs.
Right.
Is you throw that rascal in rabbit and it's in full revs. Don't be turtling around.
He's back there tuning up his lawnmower.
What a weirdo. Man.
What a weirdo.
That's the kind of people that just you hope never live next to you. Just you
Right.
irrational person.
You know,
man.
I'm in real estate, man. I heard a similar story like this, but it had to do with a pressure washer. And the guy literally pressure washed his house daily. Like he bathed his house. Like, I mean, every day he went out.
Wow.
And, and those things are loud.
Yeah.
And he did it every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That seems to be not
Wasteful.
very effective.
Yeah, I mean, imagine your water bill.
There's a certain person we know who tells a lot of things. And once was said that, honey, every night when Disneyland closes, an entire crew comes out and repaints everything.
Okay.
So that's probably not true.
No, it's definitely not true.
No.
Every night.
Every single night.
Every single night.
You'd have like a
That's
light
shit ton of
pole.
paint.
You'd have a
I
light
want that-
pole. It'd have like a foot of paint on it. You know?
Light pole that big.
Yeah, have a light pole as big as a redwood.
Oh,
So,
man.
that's not true.
That same person made an argument about Mahomes' ethnicity, saying that his parents clearly couldn't have been black and white. He has to be Asian.
Yeah. Now they're black and white.
And then that person was shown a picture. It's just like, well,
Yeah, that
I
can't.
still think he's Asian.
Yeah. Well, I mean, man, we got all kind of belief systems going on, man.
We do, man.
Yeah, we do. I'm gonna leave that alone for a minute. We're gonna go across the pond. We're going over to Halifax in West Yorkshire, England.
I thought you were going to say Halifax, Virginia.
No. This is a story about Ben Lilly. It's just a silly little stupid story, but I thought it was funny because
Ben Lilly.
I think Ben Lilly is probably a funny guy.
He sounds it.
Yeah. So he was. All right. He was. He passed an object on the road that appeared to be a dead animal. Mm-hmm. In fact, it appeared to be a leopard. All right. He's in England. So he stops and he gets out and he says he told the Metro News that his heart was racing as he was feared for his life and thought that his face might be, and in quotes, ripped off.
Okay.
All right. And so then he said he approached the beast and then, I quote, I saw the markings on it. It had the tail bit on it too, Lilly said. But as soon as I looked at it from the other angle, I started laughing. It turned out to be a leopard print jumpsuit complete with the tail. And so that's all it was, But then he said after that, he speculated this. It was probably some tart's coat from last night. It was a Saturday morning and Halifax is a bit of a drinking town.
Some tart.
Some tart. That's cool, man. I bet Ben Lilly's cool.
I
He had him a cheetah scare in England.
bet Ben Lilly was suffering a hangover himself.
Oh, once or twice.
Yeah.
A bit of a drinking town.
That morning when he saw it, I bet you he didn't have a clear mind.
No, probably not. Man, I pictured him on a moped. Okay, and now
A
here's,
liquor sickle.
and we get this. When we come to this story, okay, this is wild, man. I confirmed by several different. I had to check it out because this one's it's my last story of the night. But it comes to us from Houston, Texas, and we've got a mother, Emily Madonia. And she had a nightmare that began in 2015 when she bought her daughter an Elsa doll. Are you familiar with Elsa?
Do you want to build a snowman?
From Frozen.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Worst movie ever.
She bought the doll in 2013. And in 2015, the doll began reciting lines in both English and Spanish. And up to that point had only spoken in English.
Huh.
All right, so the doll learned Spanish. And then sometime after that, the doll began speaking and singing randomly, even when the on-off switch was switched to off.
Oh, they bought a Chucky.
Right. Okay, so then in December of 2019, the lady threw the doll out, and then she and her husband, they later found the doll on a bench inside their house. after they threw it out. So then they double wrapped the doll in plastic bags and put it in the bottom of the garbage can. And days later, her daughter found the doll again in the backyard. Okay, finally, they sent the doll to live with a friend in Minnesota where it remains at press time. But she has been contacted by paranormal investigators and the Travel Channel, interested in knowing more about this Elsa doll.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Man, creepy.
I bought my daughter one of those American Girl dolls.
I've seen that.
They pay like $200 for this damn doll. And I can't remember the little doll's name, but it kind of favored her. It was the one she wanted. And we get the doll, and for Christmas, God, this was 8 years ago.
$200 dolls?
Yeah, they're expensive as hell.
What do they do?
Absolutely nothing. Well, I'll tell you what this doll did. It creeped the hell out of my daughter. She couldn't sleep in a room with it. So, like, I would come in her room, and she'd have the doll facing the wall.
Are they like super realistic looking?
They are. They're supposed to be like you can send them a picture of yourself, and they'll make the doll look like you. You know, if you want to remember someone who passed on. They actually did that for one of my aunts who passed. But they're super expensive, man, and like their outfits cost just as much as real people clothes. But there's this whole, they send you you buy one, like they send you a magazine every month, you know, and they put your kid's name on it, so you give it to your kid, and it's great marketing because next thing you know, this kid has a damn closet full of clothes
for something else. What is it called again?
American Girl doll.
All right. I thought I was familiar with that, but once you said $200,
yeah, they're expensive, man. They're expensive as hell.
I thought maybe I don't know so much.
Yeah,
about
they're
that.
creepy as all get out, though.
Oh, but they're like toddler almost.
Yeah, they're
not like babies.
No, they're like probably about 24 inches long. You know.
They are pretty creepy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were thinking about. There's this company I collect some superhero statues from, a Japanese company called Kotobakaya, and they're like the Disney of Japan, and they make pretty much just like Disney. They do a lot of children's stuff, but unlike Disney, they have a whole adult side where they do like really, really some way out there X-rated.
Risque.
No, just straight X-rated.
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's way past risque stuff. And the same company makes it. You know, it'd be like if Disney did that here, it would be just.
Well, Disney does that in a lot of their films.
Well, not like this.
Not like that. Okay.
No, man. This is like blatant, just raunchy stuff. But like they do these dolls, and they're like anatomically correct.
Okay.
And stuff, you know. And my buddy and I once were talking about that, like how weird is that, you know? And then it kind of hit me, well, like how weird is it to have like a Ken and a Barbie doll that don't have those things?
That is weird.
You know, like so both ways are equally weird.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, that just led me to believe dolls are weird. You know, because either way seems weird.
Yeah.
You know, dolls crotch area is weird. It's just a tough place. You know?
Absolutely. Man.
I haven't thought about that for years, but yeah, that's. I didn't really know that they ever made dolls any other way until I started researching in this company because I really like this
pricey?
one. They can be, yeah, but some of them you can still get off of Amazon and get shipped to this country, which is bizarre. Mm-hmm. Like I almost thought about doing it just to have them when they're completely banned. Yeah, because they almost should be, some of them. I mean, like, but I don't know, not really. I mean, they're not really overly sexually suggestive. They're just anatomically correct.
Right.
But then they're like little schoolgirls and things like that.
Yeah, it's gross.
No, it totally is. But doesn't that seem fucking like it would be illegal?
It seems like it should be.
Right. But then you think about it, well, it's still,
right. I mean, yeah.
I don't know. It's the weirdest damn thing. Their culture is far different than ours.
Absolutely.
You know, very different. I would like to go to Japan at some point just to check it out.
Absolutely.
Like Tokyo for sure, man. Like city of the future.
Yeah.
Me and you should go there, man, because everybody else I talk to doesn't seem to give a flying flip about going to Japan.
I would love to go to Japan.
Me too, man.
Yeah, I'd like to do that, man.
They got those robot damn Coke machines that look like human beings, and their chest is a like a refrigerator, and they walk up and sell you a Coke, and the chest opens up and hands you one.
Huh.
See,
Is that real?
yeah.
Huh.
They got all kind of robots, and over there you can buy just about everything in vending machines. They sell pretty much everything that you could ever want to buy in vending machines.
Yeah. So
And
nobody works
live
retail.
They live on top of each other too.
Yeah.
It's a whole country built straight up.
Right.
In a lot of ways. Certainly
Right.
that city.
Right.
Is built straight
No,
up.
they don't have many natural resources there, and not a whole lot of land.
No, they're a resourceful bunch though, and hardworking.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt about that. But I'd love to go to Japan. There's not a whole lot of places in Asia that I would really want to go,
Yeah.
but that certainly is one of them.
Right. We'd be welcome there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We would be heralded
Absolutely.
there. It'd be like
I-
somebody to greet us.
Yeah. Tell them I play basketball or football for whatever local team.
You tell them we're nobles in the Pinhead. That's regionally famous American act. And then what are they going to do but usher us in?
Hey.
Come right on in.
Well, let's go down south, man. South America. Kingpin El Chapo, the infamous gangster of the Pacific Cartel, Joaquin Guzman, made headlines when his daughter's company developed a craft beer named El Chapo. This beer promised to make you make better decisions. As just 3 days later, she married the nephew. After releasing after releasing this beer, married the nephew of Blanca Carreras, an alleged cartel money launderer, dubbed the Empress.
So that's making better decisions.
Apparently, moral of the story: this beer is a front to smuggle something into the U.S. So when you see a 12, buy a 12.
Right. Is it like a high gravity? Does it have a lot of alcohol content, or is
It's I think she's just trying to capitalize off of the namesake.
does it taste like terror? I mean, what? It just tastes like
El
mutilation,
Chapo.
man.
I mean, it sounds cool. I mean, it's almost as good as a Miles Chisholm.
Oh man, Miles Chisholm.
I had a Miles Chisholm
That's a
last
good
night,
name.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
I hear that, man.
Hell yeah.
God, El Chapo beer, man, that's something. Wow.
Yeah.
What comes next, you know? Like Hitler hot sauce? Really, man.
hot sauce.
Go get you a Dahmer dog down at the hot dog stand.
Dahmer dog on a Bundy bun.
Right. So good.
Oh, man.
Oh, Bundy bun.
That's awesome, man. Well, hey, bro, let's talk about Sunday, man. So you say you had a good Super Sunday, man. Tell me about it. What all went down, man?
Man, I had a good day, man. I was off that day. Started real slow, like I wanted to. And then I got up near game time, went and got something to eat, and then came back and watched the first half here at home. It was the close game all through. I thought it was an entertaining
Really
game.
good game. Yeah,
all
absolutely.
the way around. I was really happy for Andy Reid.
Absolutely.
He's gonna get to go to the White House and eat his hamburgers.
He said he's going to eat him a double bacon cheeseburger.
Well, if Trump gets one with bacon, Trump may not like bacon.
Well,
We don't know if Trump likes bacon.
so many bad jokes to be made about Trump and bacon. Freaking pig.
Yeah, we gotta leave that alone.
Yeah.
But I really had a good day, and I thought it was a fitting Super Bowl for a good season. Thinking about football, I know this is off the subject of Super Bowl, but the thing that made me happiest this past week was that my second favorite player of all time, the Edge, Adrian James, got in the Hall of Fame. That just really tickled me. I didn't know. I kind of thought he was maybe on the cusp of being a Hall of Famer, because he's 13th all time in rushing. But when he retired, he was in the top 10.
Right.
And I just thought he was a fantastic player. I loved watching him play. Just my second favorite, only to Adrian Peterson. I'm a running back kind of guy, but that did my heart good to see the Edge, because you're talking about a guy that just really came from almost nothing. He said that before he signed his, I think it was $46 million contract with the Colts, that the most money he'd ever made in a day was $25 a day loading watermelons on the back of trucks in Immokalee, Florida. So he just didn't come from much of anything. And I remember watching him as a Hurricane at the University of Miami and just go through teams with a hot knife through butter. And so I really had an eye on him through the preseason. This was the first year we ever did our fantasy league. This was 1999. Edge was a rookie. And I remember watching a preseason game where he broke a move and ran off to the right side and scored in the end zone. Ran all the way through the end zone. He'd spit out his mouthpiece and was hanging from his face mask, and he runs right up to the camera, and you could see his gold teeth. You know, he had a big grill, always. And he has hollered in the camera straight right on. He said, "They can't stop me in this league." And that cemented it.
And you believed him, huh?
Oh, that cemented it for me. I was like, they can't stop him in this league.
Right.
So I'm gonna
no truer words had ever been spoken.
That's right, man. I had the 5th pick of the draft that year. It was a serpentine draft with just 10 players. My first pick, with the 5th pick, I took Fred Taylor, and it came back around to me, and there was James. That was my second ever fantasy pick. And
well, that was a hell of a backfield.
Oh, boy, that carried me for a good while. And Edge, I kept him until his very last season in Arizona, and he didn't make my keeper list that year. But I had him every other year, and just a delight to watch. You're talking about running with a low center of gravity. There were times when he would go through the line of scrimmage, and no part of his body was more than about 3 feet off the ground.
Well, that franchise was extremely lucky with quarterbacks and running backs for a while, right?
They really were.
I mean, you Peyton to Luck, and then James to Falk.
Yeah, well, Falk to James.
Falk to James, I'm sorry.
And then they got that kid, Joseph Adai, and they won the Super Bowl, Adai's rookie year. The year after Edge left, and I thought it was a class act.
They gave him the ring.
They gave Edge a ring, yeah. And he certainly helped Peyton Manning's career get off to a good start, because that guy, you had to account for Edgerrin James.
Yeah.
You had to, and it made things a little easier on old Forehead there.
Yeah, old Forehead. Speaking of guys that get the ring, you see that the Chiefs will be giving Alex Smith a ring.
Nah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
That guy, man, you talk about a bizarre situation.
Man, he just
he nearly lost his leg.
Yeah.
Yes, man, that's not what you usually see in football.
Nah, man. They were talked with him about playing again. He said, "Hell, I'm happy enough just to be able to walk."
Yeah, man. Well, maybe it's a decent thing for a guy like him in that, without the long career, maybe he doesn't have some of the brain effects, because pretty sure Alex Smith graduated at Utah at 20 years old. He'd already graduated. One of them smartest guys to ever play in the league. It would be a shame for a mind like that could still do great things in life.
Right.
It'd be a shame for that to be tarnished. But it is sad how his career came, because he was a good quarterback. He was actually probably maybe one of the best ever game managers.
Well, I was you took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly where I was gonna go.
Yeah, he was really good at that. He didn't turn the ball over ever.
No.
And he would complete third down.
I mean, bless his heart, man. He looked great as a 49er. Left the game. Wasn't a major injury. And lost
it was a concussion.
Okay, that's exactly
I had a real problem with that. I really had a huge problem with that when it went down, because all the league was harping about was this: be open with your coaches about your, if you've suffered a concussion, if you're having any blurry vision, any headache, this kind of thing. We really want you to come clean with that. We're trying to stop all this and check you out.
And he comes clean and he loses his
job.
He
comes clean and loses his job.
Right.
Well, and he's a starting quarterback. It was the first pick in the draft. So you look at a guy who's a third string linebacker who gets in on a kickoff play and gets his bell rung. What's the chances that he's going to be forthright and forthcoming?
Sure.
None. You just that one move undermined everything the league was trying to do. I thought completely. I thought at that time that
absolutely, I agree
that maybe a rule was instated league wide that you don't lose a position on the depth chart because of a concussion.
Yeah, it's not fair.
Not if you're going to tell me that I've got to disclose it.
Right.
Back in the day, it was like, here, buddy, and they splash some water on your face and get back in there.
Pop the smelling salt.
Right. Some of that. I mean it. So I had a big problem with that, with the way Alex Smith lost his job there. No disrespect to Kaepernick, who took over and took him to a Super Bowl, but just I had a problem with the way he lost his job, not who he lost it to.
He hadn't lost the game that season.
No. Yeah, man, come on. I'm certainly me. Pinhead's not going to tell you if I've got a concussion. If I just seen the number 1 draft pick lose his job,
I'm right there with you.
Forget that.
I don't have near the talent as neither one of these guys. So if I'm on a roster, I'm keeping my spot.
Right.
I need my check.
Absolutely. Yeah, the league does a lot of things, I think, for face value.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
More so than effectiveness or a real dedication to a cause. It's more just for looks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So anyway, dude, I went over to my buddy Rob's house to watch the Super Bowl. A couple years in a row that I've done that, and had a good time, man. Watched it with his son and nephew and brother-in-law. It was just a few of us, man, and they cook so much food. I mean, dude, so much food that I could barely keep my eyes open, you know.
Right.
I mean, it was just
you got the meat sweats.
Oh my God! But it was great, man. But my favorite part of the entire Super Bowl Sunday when I was talking to his son Landon, when we had been talking about our favorite Super Bowls. He goes, "Man, it'd be really cool." What's that, buddy? There's a wardrobe malfunction. So it's kind of getting to that point now that our kids, me and my kids and my friends' kids, they're getting older to where like I can have a conversation with this young man. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there like right next to his mom. I'm like, I agree, buddy. That would be hella freaking cool.
I think some people, from their reaction, thought the whole thing was a more wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they did. J-Lo did that movie Hustlers. Now, I don't know if you watch movies here or there, man, but if you're looking for something to watch, this is a great movie. The plot's really good, but it takes place in a strip club. And at 50 years old, J-Lo can get it.
Oh, well, yeah, man.
I mean, dude, she looks incredible.
Yeah, well, of course she does.
Incredible in this movie. You got Cardi B, she's in there. Big Lizzo, the big girl,
right?
She's in there. She's and then there's just a ton of other hot, beautiful women with no clothes on. So I don't know, man. Maybe I was distracted a little bit about the plot because of what all the movie had to offer.
Right.
But it was great. I'd watch it again.
Well, they certainly. I had people ask me what I thought of the halftime show.
Yeah.
Because there's been so much talk about it, which was shocking to me. When I first heard that the halftime show was Shakira and J-Lo, it's like took a second to kind of picture what that's going to be. Mm-hmm. It was 1,000% exactly what it was. Is what I envisioned. It was exactly dead on. It wasn't more. It wasn't less. It was exactly that.
Okay.
I don't know why anybody was shocked. I mean, these women have over 20-year careers of doing just that.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Did you think that they were going to come down and J-Lo's going to play just a blistering guitar solo?
Right.
Or the Shakira's going to play a ballad on the piano? No, they're going to shake their butts.
Right. Her hips did not lie Sunday.
And that's what they did, I mean, if anybody has a problem with it, you got to have a problem with the NFL's booking of them. You can't have a problem with them. That's what they've always done. That's what they always do. If they came out and tried to sing beautifully, we'd all be disappointed.
It'd have been horrible.
Right. So
horrible.
Do what you've done and been successful at for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Keep doing that.
Right.
I thought they were just fine. They had a lot of energy, and it was what it was. I didn't see anything any worse than Adam Levine ripping his shirt off because his band was bombing. Yeah, I mean that or. Do you not watch swimming events in the Olympics anymore? Because those guys just wear tiny little Speedos. They wear far less than you saw on those gals. But, we can't have kids watching the Olympics. My God.
Apparently my give a damn meter is off because I hadn't heard anything negative about it. The only thing that I would say, it seems to me J-Lo should have opened for Shakira.
I heard some other people saying that, man. I kind of looked at it as she's just a bigger name.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
a bigger name.
She's a bigger star.
Yeah.
But she's not a bigger artist in like that realm. You know what I mean? In the Latin community, Shakira is the bigger star when it comes to music. Now, but if you look at everything, if you look at J-Lo's fashion, all the other
TV,
BS crap, right? Yeah, then of course she's bigger, but. I think Shakira's performance was way better. And again, though, her hips didn't lie to me, so I was a little pumped up about that.
Right. Yeah, man, that's 93 years worth of woman up there on that stage. Everybody's those two.
It's a whole lot of greatness.
They were doing their thing, that's for sure.
Shakira's husband is the soccer player, man. He's super jealous, though. He won't allow her to have in her choreograph a man, like, on top, like on her, like, you know what I mean? Like
dancing with her.
Like dancing with her. Which is super weird, dude. How weak are you, man?
Yeah, and why did she marry him?
I don't know. A dude like me, hey, listen, I don't care what you do. You coming home tonight?
Right.
Get there when you can. Wake me up. I got something for you.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
girl, go get yours.
I mean, that's what she's always done. It's
Right.
a profession, man. You can't be
Right.
like having an actress where you can't have a kissing scene.
Right. Like
Okay,
dating a
dude.
porn star, getting mad that she's doing her job.
Yeah.
You're dating a
I
porn
mean,
star.
yeah.
That's like guys who date strippers. Like I've had these friends. And then, they become captain rescue,
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're working 90 hours a week because you don't want your girl who you met at the club to dance at the club.
Yeah.
You knew what you had when you got it.
Right. That's like inviting the Hulk to your party and getting mad because he smashes something. Yeah, it's what he does.
You're right. That's right.
He does, man.
That's just insane, man. People are the worst, man.
No doubt, man.
Dudes
I'm going
are
to start a new Pinhead segment. Just them. Lighten up, folks.
lighten up, folks. I like it.
Because, I mean, good grief.
Yeah.
Well, how have we gotten to this point as a country?
Yeah.
Well, we're just so offended and just looking for any little minute thing to complain about.
Yeah, I mean, just do step your game up, and then you don't have to worry about your woman stepping out on you. Treat her better.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, she married you, for crying out loud.
I mean, really.
So, well, man. So yeah, that's our little take on the halftime show, man. It was great, man. I really dug it. J-Lo's daughter came out there, sung the tune. She looks just like her ex, Mark Anthony. Boy, that girl has blown through some dudes with some money.
Really?
J-Lo?
Oh, yeah. Oh, good grief.
And then like all of them look completely, like she doesn't have a type. Her type is what your bank account look like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Think about Puffy, Mark Anthony, A-Rod. None of these guys are remotely, they're all paid. That's it. So I'm trying to get my money up before J-Lo hit 52, because at some point it's got to turn, I want to see the real deal. I don't want all that plastic.
But look, man,
I'm a
I
big
can't
plastic
have you.
fan.
I can't have you talking about that if I'm working as hard and diligently as I can to get in touch with Patrick Mahomes' mom.
Well,
And you're over here talking about J-Lo in these terms.
Yeah. True, touche. Speaking on my little squirt, man, let's talk a little bit about that game, man.
Man, that kid's something.
Yeah. Well, man, it went down just like I thought it was gonna.
Yeah.
I went back and listened to her show, and just like I told you, I don't have faith in Jimmy G, man.
Yeah, I have a whole lot more faith in him than Kyle Shanahan does.
Apparently, he has none in him.
I couldn't. His play calling leaves a lot to be desired, man. When trying to salt a game away, good grief! And those 2 turnovers that you got late in the second half, God, you should have won that game. Man.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't feel bad about my pick. I still think that if you got the roughing the passer call on Jimmy G getting hit in the head, that whole thing could have gone differently because they were still up 10 at that point. It would have continued that drive. There's just, there's a whole lot of. It was a close football game. It was enjoyable to watch.
It was quick.
It was quick, man.
With no timeouts, hardly any flags.
Yeah.
They ran the ball a lot. Beat the clock down. It's a pretty quick game.
I think that'll punch Andy Reid's ticket to the Hall.
Absolutely. I think he was going to get in there anyway.
He might have.
But I think that obviously does it, man. But I'm glad you brought up play calling, because I jotted down some notes here. This was one of the biggest things that bothered me. When I saw this, I knew there was no way the 49ers were going to win. Go back to the second quarter with 1:53 to go. San Francisco had 3 timeouts. They stopped Kansas City on a run, forced them into a punting situation, and did not call a timeout. All right. Kansas City took almost a minute off the clock when they punted it, giving San Francisco the ball with 59 seconds left. 1st and 10 on their 20, 3 timeouts. They run the ball for 3 yards. Again, no timeout. 2nd and 7, they ran the ball 2 yards.
Then what they do on 3rd down?
Oh, wait, they called a timeout. But now we've only got 20 seconds left.
Right.
Now it's 3rd and 5. They get in the shotgun, and then they dump a short pass off to Wilson. He does get 20 yards, and he's stopped by Suggs. Timeout. 10 yards. They've got 14 seconds left. They line up again.
So they've run one aggressive play, and it gained 20 yards.
Right. So then they throw
Pretty good, y'all.
they threw that bomb to Kittle where he pushed off. Right. So it set them up on a 10-yard loss. So it's 1st and 20, 30 on their 35, one timeout, and 6 seconds to go. Now, I know it'd be almost a daggone miracle to get in field goal position or do something, but at this point, why would you just kneel on it? I mean, just no confidence in your quarterback, man. And right when I saw that, I said, boy, these guys can't win. He doesn't trust his quarterback.
No, and then to go to him late in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, damn.
I think you shook him right there. Like, Coach, we stopped this dynamic offense with them right after the 2-minute warning. And look, we've got 3 timeouts. Let's call one. We get the ball back with a minute 40, minute 44, and we have 2 timeouts.
Right.
Jesus Christ, we got one of the best tight ends in the game. Deebo Samuel played his butt off for the first half. I mean, he looked great.
Yeah, he did.
He looked great. And, I mean, so you've got a lot of things going for you right here, but yet we run Mostert for 3 yards, then we run him again for 2 yards. Then we call a timeout with 20 seconds left. It was the worst clock management I've ever seen.
It was terrible, man. And on a huge stage where everything's magnified 20 times, you can't be that bad.
Right. So that's what prompted all the questions. Like, I mean, I kid. I think I brought this up the other day when, people were saying, people were saying it. I was kidding when I brought it up. Tom Brady could be a 49er next year.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's clear Shanahan doesn't trust this guy.
Right.
Well,
it just, we were talking about Kobe so much last week, and I think Kyle Shanahan may be the anti-Kobe. We're talking about
He's not a killer.
When you got a guy down, you got to go get, and that Chiefs offense can score in the blink of an eye. Man, I can't imagine why he wouldn't have cherished that minute 40.
Yeah.
I mean, God almighty.
Your
man.
dad said it best. I remember it was last year, Jacksonville Patriots. Was it last year or the year before last? That was 2 years ago. He said, when you have your foot on the neck of the giant, you better damn well snap it.
Yeah, man.
And that's exactly what we saw. Can't we know?
That's how my dad coached all my teams growing up.
Really?
Yeah, totally, man. Completely. You know him. You can't imagine him being different.
No, I can. Yeah. I just pictured Lloyd all of a sudden coaching a bunch of kids like, you snap his neck, damn it.
He eventually got barred from the YMCA basketball league. He couldn't coach no more for excessive technicalities. Oh, well.
Excessive technicalities. Oh, man. That is dope, man.
But yeah, that was, I think, a good Super Bowl and a fitting end to our overwhelming football coverage.
Absolutely,
We're going to keep you guys abreast of things that go on in the football world as the season goes on. We'll have the draft to talk about, and then, of course, there'll be some free agent movement and things like that. But we're going to try to talk about some other stuff, and one of those other things we're going to try to talk about is really getting into full swing right now.
Right,
and
man.
NCAA men's hoops is working up a lather.
That's right. This weekend, my Tar Heels will invite Pinhead's Blue Devils to the Ding Dong for the 252nd time in what is arguably the greatest rivalry in all of sports. Blue Devils right now are ranked number 7, probably one of the better teams in this country, and they're aspiring to make a deep run in this tournament where there's not a really deep field. It's kind of wide open.
Yeah, it really is.
A hot team can,
I've seen several teams this year play to a degree where I thought they could really be the national champs.
Absolutely,
yeah, but
man.
then you see them again,
right?
And you're like, I'm not sure. I'm really impressed with Oregon. That Pritchard kid is something else, man. And
their women don't look bad too.
No, they're really good.
Man.
But no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I think there's any of. Shit, man, maybe 30 teams that could win the thing this year.
Absolutely, man. But I think you guys will be charged up, man, and trying to take on that 6th championship, and this would be the year to do it, man.
Yeah, I think Duke could win the thing. It would just take. It would have to break right. They're just such a poor shooting team.
Well, I tell you what, it's going to always come down to one thing, and it's one of the things that we always argue about the most is seeding.
Yeah.
And ACC is not strong,
It's not.
But, my boys, the Tar Heels, we've been bruised, battered, and demoralized. And essentially, we'll be playing this weekend for pride.
Well, I thought that
but
I didn't think that your season was bleak until you lost to Florida State in that last game. because Florida State is one of the few teams in the league that brings a high RPI.
Well, we had to beat them, but still, I still think we had to be over 9 wins because I don't know, being 500 with
I think you get in with 500 if you beat Florida State and sweep Duke.
Hell, State didn't get in at 500 last year.
Yeah, but they didn't have wins like that.
Well, they did their State too, right? They don't care.
But I'm saying, man, I really think at a 500 record with wins over Florida State on the road and then sweeping Duke gets you in. But that's off the table now.
Right.
I don't know that even sweeping Duke gets you in with a 500 record. Maybe it does, but you're going to have that 500 record. You guys got to win some games, and that kind of that kind of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be
no
close,
doubt,
tough game.
Mm-hmm.
I see it. I don't have no idea what the Vegas line is for this game.
It won't come out till the day before.
Okay, because I really view it, and this is not lip service to my Tar Heel friends out there, and I'm not jumping ship to my Blue Devil fans, but I see this game as about a pick 'em. Mm-hmm. It's very close. I was telling Reg earlier, Carolina has an advantage with Cole Anthony, but he's just a more dynamic scorer than anybody that Duke has on the perimeter. I do think, though, with two different defensive-minded point guards in Trey Jones and Jordan Goldwire, that Duke will have a decent answer for him. And again, Duke's big advantage is down low with Vernon Carey Jr. I don't think Carolina has any matchup for him, but he has already shown a propensity to be in foul trouble throughout the season, and I think that if you're Roy Williams, that's
what you play to, right?
You're out of your mind if you're not driving right at him and posting up against him, and that's what you got to do early and often. And if you can get Carey out of the game, then I think it becomes essentially two teams that are very evenly matched.
They really are.
And the difference would be that Carolina would have a big-time scorer. Mm-hmm. Duke would have a few more options, but they're not as good as that one option for Carolina.
I tell you what, man, I make no mistake. I agree with everything that you just said there, Penn. Neither one of these teams shoot the ball great from anywhere. From the field, Carolina 40, Duke 48. From behind the arc, 35 versus 29. Carolina being at 29. From the stripe, from the free throw, 69 Carolina. I'm sorry, Duke, 65 Carolina.
That's not good.
It's not good.
Well, but I'm telling you what, that field goal percentage, just straight team field goal percentage, Duke's without Vernon Carey would be way lower.
Absolutely.
He shoots a super high percentage because he's really good around the hoop, that soft touch, and most everything he does is within 3 feet.
It's the same thing with Carolina. If you take Garrison Brooks out of the equation, dude, we're in the 20s. We're not shooting the ball great at all as a team.
No, it's
and we've got one efficient player.
That's going to be a big thing, I think, with Carolina's home crowd. That game becomes a pick 'em to me. I think that if those two teams play on a neutral court and play 100 times, I think Duke wins more than 50 of them. But that's not what we're doing.
Sure.
We're playing one time in front of a rabid crowd of Carolina fans and a team that has its complete back against the wall. Mm-hmm. I don't think Duke will be uninspired in this game. I think they'll come in to fight. If they don't, I think Coach K will have a conniption fit because he was seriously angry after the Boston College game.
He had every right to be.
He had
every right to be. They shot poorly.
They did, and he said they weren't listening to him. And he said, "You don't listen to me. Something's wrong."
Right.
And
I've only won more games
that's
than
what he said.
anybody.
Somebody asked him what the team's biggest problem was. He said their biggest problem right now is me. And he said, "I'm the one they got to worry about this week."
Right.
And I imagine we had a rough week of practice. I can only imagine if they don't come out with a little more zest and fervor than what they came out with against Boston College, I'd be surprised. Plus, if you can't get up for this game, then you don't need to be playing.
And that's a fact, I mean, we've lost some tough games, man. But we both just played Boston College. Boston College didn't look bad against either one of our teams. They're not a good team.
No, they're not. And they didn't look bad. The Duke Boston College game was poorly played on both sides. Mm-hmm. It was an ugly basketball game. I think the teams combined to hit 2 3-pointers and shot about 35.
Yeah.
Like, it was just ugly. And but they were competitive and they played hard, so I still think it was a fun game to watch. It wasn't a well-played game.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Well, the Tar Heels are going to be relying heavily on Cole Anthony as he contributes 27% of our points and carry 22 of you guys. Man, I think this game is going to be a lot closer than it should be. I do give the advantage to Duke, maybe by 5, but make no mistake, obviously, I'm going to root for the Heels to win and cover in this game. So stay tuned. I think that game is Saturday at 6? Which is awesome because normally we play like on a Wednesday at 9 o'clock that first game. So definitely be something to watch Saturday as, again, we don't have any football. But speaking of football, XFL will make.
Well, that's true, but I want to let it be known that I have to work Saturday from 2 to 6. And if Ben Doan, if you're out there listening, I'm going to need you to come in about 15 minutes early for me on Saturday so that I can get in front of the TV and I'll set up before that basketball game starts, and I'll pay you back I'll show up 30 minutes early at a time of your choosing. Look at that, generous offer.
Well, you could just record the game and not watch any of it till you get home.
Impossible. It's impossible. When Duke and Carolina plays, my phone lights up with text one after another, and it just says I have a text, so I have to hit it to see who it is, and it'll come up and it'll say something about the game.
Well, you just watch it, and I mean, if you figure if it takes you 10 minutes to get home, and you fast forward through the commercials, within 15 minutes, you'll be right back to live game coverage.
I still think Ben can come in 15 minutes.
Oh, I agree, but he won't.
He will. No, he does. He's done that before. I've done that for him.
Ben gets there at 6 o'clock.
That's 6:03. No, man, he'll do that. I'll ask him tonight.
Awesome, man. Awesome stuff, man.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to the rest of the basketball season too, man. As things get going, we're gonna have we'll have a tournament preview show.
Ooh, that'll be fun, man. That'll be fun.
And we'll kind of break down the different regions. Everybody kind of take a region. So we'll invite our buddy JP in, and we'll try to find a fourth.
Maybe old C Mac. Maybe we can get him.
Man,
get him off his.
Mac. That'd be that would even us up as far as Tar Heels and Blue Devils.
It would make it even. Yeah.
Cheers. So we got that, and we'll do a few more things. I'm gonna start my new bit next week. The lighten up folks.
Lighten up folks.
Yeah.
You know what really grinds my gears type deal.
I know. Is that too close to that? Maybe I should change
I don't know. I like it.
I don't
know, man. We do need folks to lighten up, man. We have this monsoon going on today. I've seen about 20 accidents today.
Yeah, man. These are the end times.
People lighten up. I mean, it wasn't a shock that we had this historic rainfall. They've been calling for it all week, but yet you feel the need to drive 80 down 40. Nah, you're not going to hydroplane. You're immune to it.
That's
Idiots.
true. No, really, man. People just don't respect it, you know.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, your DC Defenders are facing off this week, man.
Yeah, who are we open with?
I can't remember. I just
we
saw
got Cardell.
I saw that. Yeah,
We're gonna be all right, man.
Boy, that guy. Where did he get? He did get drafted, correct?
I think so. Yeah, I can't remember. He didn't hang around long.
Apparently not. Hopefully it works out, man. Hopefully it makes for some good football because that's probably one of my favorite games, man, to watch. It's just so easy to follow, and what they're doing in the XFL that will be different from the NFL is to try to make the pace of play a little quicker, which, we talk, if we go back to the Super Bowl, man, actually made that game more enjoyable. There wasn't a whole lot of challenges. There wasn't a whole lot of clock stoppage.
You know me in the replay, man. I'm not a fan.
I mean,
did you see their overtime setup?
What is it?
It's kind of neat. Each team gets up to 5 plays from the 5-yard line going in.
Okay.
And you just get one play. And if you score, then you get a chance to do a 2-point conversion.
Okay.
And then...
and they do it 5 times. So I get a play, and if I don't score...
Until somebody is mathematically eliminated. So up to 5 times.
Okay.
See, so like if I get it, get the 2-point conversion, you don't. I get the 2-point conversion again, you don't. The next time I get it, I score a touchdown, and you don't, then you're done. You can't catch me at that point. You see what I mean? You can't...
Kind of like a shootout.
Yeah, that's what they call it. They call it a shootout.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's all right. I mean, I guess.
Different.
Yeah. I'm all for it at this point. meddling with the game, because I'm not happy with the product that the NFL puts out, mostly because of the replay, the speed of the game and the replay. So
it just
I'm
sucks
fine
a lot
with,
of the fun out of it.
It does. I'm fine with meddling with the game. They've already meddled with it to where it doesn't represent or look like anything that I watched as a kid growing up. It doesn't resemble that game. So I'm fine with tinkering with it, however. You know? In fact, college football looks much more like the NFL did when I was a kid than the NFL does now.
Yeah. Well, I think they have to make a lot of changes to the game just for safety reasons alone. I understand that, but the pace of play is
an issue.
It's just crazy.
It's an issue, and it's going to be an issue in basketball, college basketball talk too.
Man, wow,
that drives me even crazy.
I hate it.
You got a total rhythm game that you totally throw off. Football, we reset after every play, so it's not that much of a big deal as far as momentum and things go. Not as much as a basketball game, you know. So it really ticks me off in basketball when we have a 4 or 5 minute dead spot for nothing. When you show me 3 replays, and it takes about 10 seconds to show me these 3 replays, and I'm confident on what happened.
Right.
And yet it still somehow takes 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I think I made that call in 30 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. It's such a momentum game, and then you're constantly moving. So you slow a guy down, you give him a moment to cool off. There goes the hot hand. Yeah.
You got a guy sucking wind.
Yeah. You allow him to get back in the game.
Give him 5 minutes. Just okay.
Right. Exactly. It's a free timeout.
Just a lot of things, man. You set things up in both sports. That's kind of similar in both. Like, in football, we'll set up a play. We'll run this one play over and over and over, and then this one time it's a version of that play that's different. It's a fake move, and then the guy goes deep, and boom, there it is. And in basketball, it's definitely that. I'm definitely setting you up to run one thing if I know I need a point. I've got a play that I've been setting you up for the entire game. Instead of going right, I'm going left this time. I've been going right 20 times this game. It's that kind of deal, and I think you lose a lot of that when you have these dead spots. It's just hard to, because the other coaches aren't stupid. They figure that out. Like, okay, man, look, I've been watching. When 21 has the ball in the corner, he goes to the right every time. Every time. Right. Don't fall for that. This kid, I've watched him. He can dribble with both hands. Don't be leaning toward the right.
Right. He's going to get you.
Yeah, so then you can kind of counteract that play that the guy's been trying to set up the whole game, which kind of sucks. I like watching coaching like that, and seeing guys really develop a play, over time.
Good shit, man. Well, I guess that's it for this week's episode, man. Without football and picking 19 games a week, I guess we'll be shortening our episodes down to about an hour, so most you guys can get it in on your drive to and from whatever it is you do during the day.
Next week we'll talk about the funny news, and we'll see if anything is wild and crazy happening in the sports world, and then maybe we'll talk a little bit. Of course, we're going to do our ACC like we always do, and then maybe let's talk a little bit about some of our projections for the NBA, for the old NBA playoffs.
We did skip over AB. I think we talked about this Seattle Dragons.
I was hoping that we could skip over AB.
Well, I know he had his Super Bowl moment because when is it not a good AB moment, right? Let's definitely show him in the Super Bowl, and he was interviewed by Wendy Nix, maybe.
I don't know.
Anyway. They interviewed him, and they showed about 2 minutes of it, man. And, boy, this guy makes it so hard to like him,
And that's a mouthful coming from you because you're his biggest fan.
I mean, dude, it's just, look, you get an opportunity to apologize to everybody. You've got America watching, and you're still playing the victim, Everybody's against him. When you're as famous as I am, you're all eyes are on you. So everything that you do is amplified, or you're always guilty, and you know what I mean. And dude, stop with the shenanigans, and you wouldn't have. I mean, dude, there are people way more famous than you that have less issues than you.
It's quite clear that no one's out to get him.
And she straight up asked him. She said a lot of people point to that hit where Burfict, laid you on your ass. And they showed the hit, and it was vicious. And after that point, he really does start cutting the monkey. You know what I mean? It's clear. Like, before and then, he was just kind of arrogant, wide receiver diva, which we could tolerate. But clearly after that hit, There's been some changes.
Yeah, he started acting a little shaky.
And she asked him about that. He goes, well, I don't think I got any issues.
Well, of course
Really?
he doesn't. Yeah.
Really?
I kind of think he does.
She asked him, does he feel sorry for, any of the people that were, that were affected by some of this, any of the women or the teams, and just nothing.
Yeah.
It was just.
He's as good an interview as Michael Jackson was.
Yeah.
You remember that bit that Chris Rock did about it?
Yeah.
Like, come on, Mike. He's like, the guy was trying to help you out on 60 Minutes. He's like, oh boy, trying to help you. He said, Mike, you think it's okay for a grown man to sleep in the bed with children? Mike said, yes. He said, no, dumbass, no. He said, well, let me put it another way. Would you let your children sleep in the bed with a grown man who had been accused of child molestation? Mike says, yes. No, Mike, no, you dumbass. And that's kind of how AB is.
Yeah.
It's just like, God, don't you. Ugh.
And then
I imagine he wasn't a good test taker.
Yeah, and then just to hear him talk, he just bothers me, man. I just don't like that dude. But anyway, that's my rant on that jerk. So
We'll not talk about him again until he
we
makes
probably will.
an NFL roster or
When-
a mugshot.
when No More White Girls 2020 drops, we'll bring that up
yeah,
because that CD is supposed
We'll
to hit
play
the
that
shelves.
for you guys. 'cause
Yeah,
this is
we
gonna be
probably
awesome.
won't. His debut was 2 minutes and 12 seconds long. That's it.
No more white girls.
That's your feature. That's your hit. It's 2 minutes and 12 seconds long. Who produced this damn thing?
He probably did.
He did. Hey, I got a great producer for you. Nah, I got it. I got this. Anyway, man. Well, man, let's go ahead and wrap this up, man. We appreciate everybody checking us out, downloading, sharing. You know where you can find us: IG, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere that you can listen to podcasts.
Yeah, man. Until next week.
You got anything coming up? I've meant to ask you that before we got
Not
up.
until later this month. We'll be hyping that in the coming shows.
Okay, perfect, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. So for your boy Pinhead, this is Reggie Noble saying peace.
Cheers.
Don't touch the trim.